Today I'm baking a soft, fluffy, and delicious coconut bread made with sweetened roasted coconut flakes. If you love the rich aroma of freshly baked bread, grab your ingredients and let's get comfortable. Hello family, welcome back to the channel. First, to start off, I started by soaking my sweetened coconut flakes. This is well toasted. I went ahead to soak this with 3 tablespoons of milk. Skip this step if you're using fresh coconut. I need the flakes to soak up some moisture so that while we're going to use it in a coconut bread, it will turn out right. I set that aside to soak up for a while. Next, into a large bowl, pour in your milk. You can use coconut milk if you have that. Then I added my yeast, instant yeast, and some sugar. I went ahead to break in 2 eggs into the bowl and mixed thoroughly till well combined. Next, you add your bread flour. If you don't have bread flour, you can go ahead to use your all-purpose flour. I added a pinch of salt and then my soaked coconut flakes. Go ahead to stir this nicely till well combined. You can use your spatula. At some point, you need to use clean hands to go in and give it a good mix and also knead as well. Well, at this stage, I did not do any serious kneading. I just made sure that everything was properly combined. If your dough feels very sticky, it's perfectly normal. At this point, you cover it and let it rest for about 15 minutes. And then I was supposed to punch this, but I don't know, it was playing with it. But just give it a good punch and you would notice that the dough will feel less sticky. You can go on at this stage to add a little butter and then you start kneading. If you have a food processor, this will really help at this stage because you really need to knead this if you want a soft, stretchy bread. I went ahead to dust my work surface and then I started kneading. You need to knead this for about 10 to 15 minutes to get that soft, fluffy, and stretchy bread. So make sure to do this very well. So after kneading for some time, I went ahead to oil my bowl and then drop in the dough. Now it has to rest for about 1 hour so that it can also properly rise. You can also use a kitchen towel for this. Just make sure wherever you're dropping it is warm enough. After an hour, you can see how it has risen. Just give it a good punch. I give it more punches than usual. So just bring it out and drop it on your work surface. The waiting time gives the yeast time to, do its magic. And of course, give a light, airy bread. Now it's time for us to shape our dough. I first used my hand to divide dough into two and went ahead to roll the first part. You don't have to do too much, just roll it a little bit till flat enough. Then you proceed to fold it in. Do this very patiently. While you go on to roll it, make sure that you seal the edges. You either pinch it or just use a rolling pin like I'm doing in the video. Gradually, you get what you want. So my lovely people, if you've watched to this point, I know you're enjoying the video. You have to consider subscribing. Subscribing is not difficult and it's totally free. Support this growing channel by giving me a thumbs up and turn on your notification bell so that you would know anytime I post a new video. If there is a particular recipe you would love to see on this channel, just do well to drop a comment and I will attend to it. So right now what I'm doing is just giving our bread loaf a wonderful shape. You have to, shape it in the way you want it to turn out. So that's what we're basically doing. Now it's time to place it on a baking pan. I had to give some finishing touches to our bread loaf before covering it up and letting it sit for some time again to rise. I'm going to leave it to sit for about 30 minutes before placing it in the oven. So now I went ahead to shape the other parts of the dough. Remember, we cut this into two before. Since this was going to go into a smaller bread loaf pan, I went ahead to divide it into two and also roll this out. You know what you're doing is not a serious rolling, it's just to expand it while you fold it in. Remember that while you fold it, you also pinch the edges. This is just to make sure it's properly sealed and do not open while baking. So after shaping it, I place the first into my baking pan and then I get ready the second one. So it's nothing really complicated. It's just basically the same steps. You roll it flat, then you fold it in. If you want, you can sprinkle some coconut flakes before you fold in everything and then place in your pan. But I'm just okay the way it is. I love it the way it is. So basically just pinch it in, roll it and then place it into your pan. I went ahead again to give it some finishing touches and then I covered it for about 30 minutes. Then to my milk, I crack in one egg. This is what we call egg wash. It gives a very good finish and golden crust to your bread when it's fully baked. So you can see that our bread has risen yet again. So if you have leftover coconut flakes, just sprinkle it into that. So I did the same thing with the other loaf and then I went on to bake. So at this point, our coconut bread is ready. One of the things I love about this recipe is the sweetened coconut flakes. It adds both flavor and texture to the bread. Can you see how soft that is? My lovelies, nothing beats a well-baked homemade bread, especially coconut bread. If you haven't tried this before, this is a sign for you to try this and you will love every bit of it. Do not forget to share this video to your friends and family. Thank you for watching. Bye.